Good evening, medicos. Welcome back to Medical Students Corner. Myself, Dr. Krishneshwari. So, I am here with the second session on syncope. So, we were dealing with syncope, the definition of syncope, pre-syncope and pathophysiology of syncope in the last. I think that you are happy with that session. Today, we will directly go to the causes of syncope. So, this causes of syncope, it is basically divided into three. Three causes are there for syncope. So, first is when there is change in vascular tone. Change in vascular tone or blood volume. So, first cause is when there is change in vascular tone or blood volume. Second is cardiovascular disorders. And third is cerebrovascular disorders. Understand? So first is change in vascular tone or blood volume. Second is cardiovascular disorders. And third is cerebrovascular disorders. These are the three most important causes. Not three most important, three causes of syncope. So today we are going to deal with the first cause, which is change in vascular tone or blood volume. Okay, so this change in vascular tone or blood volume, the first cause of syncope, it is again divided into two. Okay, it is again divided into two. One is syncope due to reflex action, that is reflex syncope. First is reflex syncope and second is orthostatic hypotension. Okay, so there are two divisions in case of change in vascular tone and blood volume. One is reflex syncope and second is orthostatic hypotension. You understand? Okay, then this reflex syncope, it is again divided into three. Okay. You understand? So, there are three main causes of syncope. The first cause, change in vascular tone or blood volume. It is divided into two, reflex syncope and orthostatic hypotension. Again, the reflex syncope, it is divided into three. So, the first one is neurocardiogenic syncope. Neurocardiogenic syncope. Okay, first one is neurocardiogenic syncope. Second is situational syncope. So, first is neurocardiogenic syncope. Second is situational syncope. And third is carotid body hypersensitivity. You understand? So, these are the three divisions of reflex syncope. So, this is due to reflex action. Okay, this is due to reflex action. And when we see about this reflex syncope, the pathophysiology is same in case of all these three syncopes. That is, in reflex syncope, the pathophysiology is one, whether there is, sometimes there will be parasympathetic hyperactivity or there will be sympathetic withdrawal. You understand? So, we know about the pathophysiology of syncope. So, I am not going to the details. You know about all these things. So, if you are having any doubt, you refer to that video, the link of which I will be putting in the description box. Okay. So, this reflex syncope. So, in reflex syncope, there will be increased parasympathetic activity or there will be sympathetic withdrawal. You understand? Sometimes these both will happen or any one of this will happen in case of reflex syncope. So, there is something problem with the reflex activity. Okay. So, we will go to detail of each syncope in reflex syncope one by one. So, first is neurocardiogenic syncope. This neurocardiogenic syncope, it is also known as vasovagal syncope. And the most common syncope which we are seeing in our clinical practice is neurocardiogenic syncope. Okay, this is the importance of neurocardiogenic syncope. In case of neurocardiogenic syncope, so we will see what are the precipitating factor for this neurocardiogenic syncope. So first is fatigue. When the patient is very weak, he may go for neurocardiogenic syncope. Second, if there is excess of heat, he may go for neurocardiogenic syncope. Third, if the patient is standing for a prolonged time, as if we have said an example, we are standing in the assembly and we will go for syncope. So it is a type of vasovagal syncope, that is neurocardiogenic syncope. So if he is standing for a prolonged time, when there is any debilitating diseases, you understand. So these are the most important precipitating factors of neurocardiogenic syncope. So what happens in neurocardiogenic syncope is when it is mostly associated with pre-syncope. It is associated with pre-syncope and the patient will be pale and ash. There will be ashen. There will be ash hue in the color of the patient, and the BP will be, when the patient falls, the BP will be less. Okay, the pulse is feeble and also respiratory rate is imperceptible. These are the most important symptoms associated with neurocardiogenic syncope. And also the most important point you should remember in case of this neurocardiogenic syncope is there is no action or there is no symptoms as far as the our sphincter is concerned. It is the most important differentiating point of neurocardiogenic syncope from epilepsy. In case of seizure and epilepsy, there will be loss of sphincter control, which leads to elimination of urine and stool. But in case of neurocardiogenic syncope, the sphincter activity will be intact. This is a very, very important point. Understand? So, and how we can come out of this neurocardiogenic syncope? So, when the patient is made horizontal, what happens? The blood to the brain, the blood supply to the brain will be corrected. You understand? And this leads to the normal condition of the patient. So, this is neurocardiogenic syncope. This is the most common type of syncope what we are usually seeing in our clinical practice. You understand? So, this is neurocardiogenic syncope. Second, we are going to discuss about situational syncope. So, situational syncope, it occurs in certain situations. You understand? So, the certain situations such as when the patient is swallowing food. So, when there is something problem with the esophagus motility or some problem is there when the patient swallows food, and there will be stimulation of the reflex leading to syncope. It is known as deglutitional syncope. Second is micturating syncope. So, when there is any obstruction on the bladder, neck of the bladder, the person may go for micturition syncope. So, there will be some reflex action which we have explained earlier. So, he may go for syncope. So, this is known as micturition syncope, and the main cause is BPH, when there is benign prostatic hypertrophy or some growth in the neck of the bladder. Understand? He may go for syncope. Next is defecation syncope. So, in old patient who is suffering from constipation, and when he is performing the Valsalva maneuver, when he is training for passing stool, he may go for syncope. This is known as defecation syncope. And the other type of situational syncope is cough syncope. Cough. So, when the patient is having COPD, there will be violent cough which leads to stimulation of the reflex leading to syncope. So, situational syncope, this is the neurocardiogenic syncope, it is the most important cause of syncope, and situational syncope includes cough syncope, micturition syncope, defecation syncope, deglutition syncope. Okay, so these are the types of situational syncope. Next type of syncope is carotid body hypersensitivity. Okay, carotid body hypersensitivity. So, in case of carotid body hypersensitivity, you know about carotid body, aortic body and all. we have discussed earlier in pathophysiology. So, in case of carotid body hypersensitivity, what happens is when there is sudden stimulation of the carotid body, especially in old men when they are shaving or suddenly turning the head, etc., and also when there is tight clothing around the head and neck, what happens is there will be stimulation of the carotid body leading to syncope. So what happens is the reflex from the carotid body. So when there is hypersensitiveness of the carotid body, what happens is the reflex is taken to the medulla by means of nerve of Hering. Nerve of Hering. This nerve of Hering is responsible for the carotid body hypersensitivity. This nerve of Hering, it is a branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay. This is a branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. So, this nerve of Hering, which is a branch of glossopharyngeal nerve, takes the reflex when there is hypersensitivity of the carotid body, and it takes the reflex towards the medulla. You understand? So, it will be carrying the impulses from the carotid body to the medulla, and from the medulla action comes downwards, which causes AV block, atrioventricular block, which causes AV block and vasodilatation. You understand? AV block and vasodilatation, or sometimes only AV block or only vasodilatation. So, this is the thing happening which leads to syncope. You understand? So, these are the three varieties of reflex syncope: neurocardiogenic syncope, situational syncope, and carotid body hypersensitivity. The most important thing is vasovagal syncope in case of neurocardiogenic, situational in certain situations where there is stress, and also carotid body hypersensitivity. You please remember nerve of Hering, which is a branch of glossopharyngeal nerve carrying the impulse to the medulla and which causes AV block or vasodilatation or both. You understand? So, these are the types of reflex syncope. Next, we are going to the other type of change in vascular tone or blood volume, that is orthostatic hypotension. So, you all know about orthostatic hypotension. So, when the patient rises from the recumbent position, suddenly he may go for syncope. He may or may not experience pre-syncope and he will be going for syncope, and it is most common in the elderly person. Okay, most common in the elderly person, and also it is common in elderly person who are taking antihypertensive drugs. Okay, some persons who are taking medicines for hypertension, they are prone to develop this orthostatic hypotension, which leads to syncope. And the other causes of this orthostatic hypotension is, one is neuropathy, when the patient is having some peripheral neuropathy. This is the most important cause. One is antihypertensive. Second most important cause is when there is some neuropathy, especially in case of diabetes mellitus and all, the patient is prone for this orthostatic hypotension. Then third cause is Parkinsonism. In some patients with Parkinsonism, they are prone for this, and also some patients who are having cerebral degeneration, when there is progressive cerebral degeneration, they are also prone for this orthostatic hypotension. And the pathology behind this orthostatic hypotension, one is when there is hypovolemia. The first pathophysiology is hypovolemia. So, the patient is having all these trigger factors with hypovolemia, he may go for orthostatic hypotension. And second is when there is any defect in the vascular tone. Along with these precipitating factors, he may go for orthostatic hypotension. You understand? Okay. So, in short, today we have discussed about the causes of syncope. We are dealing with syncope. So, causes of syncope, there are three causes. One is change in blood volume and vascular tone. Second is cerebrovascular diseases, and third is cardiovascular diseases. Regarding this blood volume and vascular tone, there are two types. One is reflex syncope and another is orthostatic hypotension. The reflex syncope, again it is divided into neurocardiogenic, situational and carotid body hypersensitivity syncope. So any confusion? If you are having any confusion, if you are having any doubt, please let me know. You can put in the comment box. Hope you have understood. There is no confusion, it seems. So today we will stop the session. Next day we will come with other causes of syncope and also the differential diagnosis and evaluation of syncope. We will complete the syncope by next session. So thank you for your patient listening. If you are happy with our channel, please subscribe, share. Happy learning, happy day. Thank you so much.